Five years ago, 6 friends rode from Mumbai to Bhutan and back. It took them 5 days to get there, 5 days to come back, and they spent 10 days inside Bhutan. They did about 7,500 kilometers over the 20 days. It was one hell of a ride. This is our story. We shot no videos for the first 4 days. It's a long way from Mumbai to Bhutan, and we wanted to spend as much time in Bhutan as possible. More importantly, this trip was completely managed by Sachin. In many ways, you are lucky to get to travel with him. Everything is organized for you. You have nothing to do but ride. But you have got to ride your ass off, quite literally. And so we did. 845 kilometers on day 1 to reach Chittorgarh. I don't remember much of that day. I obviously couldn't sleep the night before, and we started at some ungodly hour way before dawn and ended the day way after dark. It was a tough day, but things were about to get much, much worse. Day 2 began early as well, and once we were on the main highway to Kota, we gathered some speed. And then, all of a sudden, I was flying. I hit a large stone, both my wheels left the ground, and then they came back down. I've had a lot of time to think about this incident, and I still have no idea how I did not crash. Both my rims were bent. The front tire had a hole big enough to put your hand through, and the rear had a gash. But I survived. An awesome roadside mechanic patched the front tire somehow, and we slowly wobbled into Kota. The local KTM people were extremely helpful, and I found myself in a crowded market where some dude came and removed the front wheel, took it inside the shop, made some banging noises, came out and fitted back up. Same for the rear, and a new front tire later, we were good to go again. It was evening by this time. We had lost the entire day. The guys were sweet enough not to abandon me, but that meant we all ended up riding till late in the night to make up for lost time. Still managed to do about 530 kilometers that day, and I didn't die, so not a bad day overall. It was hard to get up the next morning, and things got harder when we realized that both the Ninja 650s had busted their fork seals. A local friend helped us guide through the insanity that is Lucknow traffic, and we found ourselves at another KTM service center. While we were there, we luckily discovered that Sherman's brand new 390 had destroyed its rear brake. That was fixed too, but another riding day was lost, and it was time for another late night highway ride. We did manage to do about 470 more kilometers that day, and it was about time our luck changed for the better. But tomorrow it was time to cross Bihar. There was a very interesting reason why we were a bit anxious about crossing Bihar quickly. Sherman was carrying more than 50,000 bucks in his saddlebags, cash. Bihar does not have a good reputation for safety, especially not for bikers. So we rode about 850 kilometers that day and did not stop anywhere for more than 15 minutes, which meant that we had to skip lunch. By the time we crossed the border into West Bengal, it was dark already. We stopped at the first dhaba we found and overcompensated for the skipped lunch, which was a very, very bad idea. The moment we got back on the highway, all of us were completely sleepy. We somehow kept each other awake by talking through the Skalas and made it to Siliguri by midnight. Another morning struggle against sleep, but we did manage to get going by 8:30. Our route was finally getting a bit scenic and I pulled out the GoPro. Sherman and Glenfrey were enjoying the twisties so much, they took a wrong turn somewhere and got lost. While we were waiting for them to find their way back, Nicky got a call from KTM service center in Lucknow. Imagine his shock when he was told that his 650's front axle nut was still in Lucknow. He had ridden his bike almost 1,000 kilometers with nothing holding his front wheel to the bike. A frantic search of all the nearby mechanics got us a new nut of the same size. And soon, we were near the happiest country on earth. There isn't a physical border between India and Bhutan, just a gate that you cross like it's no big deal. But the difference this gate makes is insane. On the India side, imagine two women fist fighting on the hood of a car while Slayer plays in the background. On the Bhutan side, that changes to children laughing as they play happily to a Vivaldi soundtrack. After getting a bit lost, we finally parked up at the immigration office. We had made it, ridden our motorcycles from one country into another. There was no time to celebrate though, and soon we were inside the office, filling forms. The immigration officer told me I looked like my grandmother in my driving license, which was mean but accurate. Once we got all the permits for ourselves, we ran to get the permits for our bikes. It was too late though, and we would have to wait till tomorrow to get them sorted. We got a few rooms in a hotel which may or may not have been a brothel. But nothing could bother us. We were sleeping in Bhutan.